The biggest mistake is that they should have just let the scientists lead this situation, mate. If they let the scientists
if you're going to
lead,
employ them, let them do their job.
then people wouldn't have problems with Boris right now. They'll be like, well, even if the scientists led us to this exact same point, they would say, well, at least Boris let the people who are experts in their field, he let them take over. Even though we're still in the same place, he at least put the right people in the situation at the beginning. But because I don't know whether it was ego, whether it was power, whether it was this utter dumbness of a human being.
I think it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he just
a little bit of everything.
Kind of put himself in this position. Yo, what's going on, people? Big up yourselves all the time and every damn time. Welcome back to Real Fake News, out here with Jago. And tonight on the studio, I have got...
You've got Renee. Hello, hi, hope you're good.
And you also know what time it is. Man like, real talk. Let's do this.
Jeez. Another week of madness happening.
Yep.
There's a lot of confusion at the moment with government and finances. I'm a bit confused because I have known for a while now that they haven't got money, especially due to the last furlough where they were giving out so much money to so many different companies, and where the money was really needed with the PPE and all the research and getting stuff done wasn't there. And they were saying that there were shortages. And now we've come to a point, oh my gosh, this sounds so ridiculous, but Boris Johnson has now, or a article has come out about him wanting to quit his job because he's not being paid enough. What's that all about?
Yeah. Well, so an article is like circulating the internet, and whether it's in their actual papers and that, I don't know. But he wants to quit. He wants to quit as Prime Minister, stand down as Prime Minister in the spring, because his £150,000 a year job as Prime Minister, the salary of being Prime Minister, is too low.
Is this based on because of what's going on?
Say that again?
Is it because of what's going on and all the stress that he's getting with this pandemic?
I don't know. I have no clue. I think it's because he's greedy. You know what I mean? To be honest, let's put it like this, innit? The Telegraph was paying that man £23,000 a month, to write an article for their newspaper. You know what I mean? That works out around £236,000 a year he was getting, off there. He's getting £150,000 a year off, basically, as being Prime Minister, and he thinks it's too low.
That's crazy, man.
I think you're a bit greedy, mate, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit greedy.
I mean, considering there's so many small businesses that are shutting and unemployment is going up, there isn't money in the kitty no more, mate. I don't know where he would even get something like that from, mate.
Well, it gives me joke, really. Like it just gives me joke, to be honest, because like the amount he's mostly paying government officials and people that are working part of their COVID team, if they want to call it that, or part of government that are working to do with COVID and that, they're getting paid astronomical amounts, stupid amounts, you know what I mean? But yet, they're telling the people they ain't got money. You know what I mean? Man wants to kick out from being Prime Minister, just leave everything as it is, leave the whole country as a shambles because the money he gets is too low. That's greed for me. That's avarice, isn't it?
Mad.
I think it's greedy anyway, but I don't think that's really the case. I think that article is, I don't know the truth in it, what the truth is in that article.
Yeah, I need to see, obviously I do need to see
he wouldn't leave his position.
More in that. I personally think he wouldn't leave it. I believe even though he's only getting 150 grand a year, I think that position is too powerful for him to leave.
course.
Like he doesn't have a say no more, innit? Like he can say whatever he wants. No one's gonna listen to him, innit? Where people have to listen to the dude, really, whether you want to or not, when he's prime minister.
So who has the power in this country when it comes to the final say? The prime minister.
Well, I think it depends on the situation, innit? To be honest, I swear the Queen can have a say at terms. I swear there's certain situations where the Queen has a say in it, and what her word goes in it, really.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, Boris obviously and the cabinet are very, very confused. Whether it's the fact that they're spontaneously reacting to what's going on now, or whether it's what they want to give off to keep us confused. I haven't got a clue, mate. But what I do know is that these next stages, they've obviously created 3-tier lockdown. For me, that's just crazy. He's created a concept now of 3-tier lockdown. So we're definitely going to be seeing certain places go into straight lockdown. I mean, I heard Manchester at the moment, I think, is going into lockdown, isn't they?
I think they're talking about putting it into tier 3.
Yeah, tier 3 lockdown.
But the problem where the confusion is going to be with that is because I've heard that basically if you're in a section of Manchester that's going into tier 3, and let's say, for example, I live in the section that's going into tier 2, but I've got family in tier 3, apparently I'm allowed to go and visit my family in tier 3. But how are they going to regulate that? That, you know, it makes no sense. If you're in tier 3, you're in tier 3. It should just be a full-on lockdown. But where you're going to make all these little exceptions, like, well, I mean, if your family's there, then it's okay. It's just BS, really, isn't it?
It is.
No, I hear that.
I mean, for me, I don't.
That's mad.
I just don't want to see the logic behind any of this movement, man, of these rules and regulations. There don't seem no consistency. Like you just said, Renee, I read an article where someone was in Southampton or somewhere down south, and they were in tier 3. Yeah, so I heard about one article. A woman she writ basically that she was in a tier 3 area in Southampton side. And her family were in a tier 2 area, and she was allowed to visit them, but they weren't allowed to visit her.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
That's confusing.
That make no sense. So,
that don't make sense at all.
I have seen a couple of videos of people starting to kind of stand up. There was one gym. Don't know if you saw that video. I should have really tagged you, man, in it. They basically done a video from before the lockdown regulations and after the lockdown regulations. And before the lockdown regulations, they were saying, listen, we're not going to close our gyms at 6 or whatever time it was. We're still going to open till whatever time we're open till. Like, this is a gym, a place of health. People with mental stresses and illnesses come here. And what we'll do is keep the hygiene in here proper good, make sure everyone follows the rules and regulations, and the next day he done another video of them in the gym, and then obviously all the police came down and everyone was getting arrested and taken out, and he got a £10,000 fine.
Yeah, but did you not hear about the amount of donations? It got about, well, the last I checked was about 38k worth of donations.
What was that?
After that fine.
That same person with the gym?
Yeah, the gym got donations when they was fined. They got donations.
Whoa, so there you go.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
Power of the people,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they were trying to help people, and they got fined for trying to help people, technically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How can you try and find people for that?
So they lost out on 10 grand, but they got 38, you said, on donations, which is obviously really good. Did you hear anything else from that story afterwards? As in, are they gonna close down now, or what? Are they gonna keep open, or?
No, I mean, I don't know the facts, but I would assume that they would close down. You know, staying open now that they've already been caught once, they're just risking getting caught again and getting fined again, aren't
Again,
they?
yeah.
Wow.
So
That's that,
yeah.
man. So these fines are definitely coming into effect. They
Yeah,
are
I mean, that's all
indeed.
they're looking to do. They're just looking to recoup. You know what I mean? You're recouping, but yet you're spending the money in the wrong places for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't spend money in certain places, innit? Like, obviously, you do need to do things regarding this pandemic, so you need to spend money there. We know that. But the amount of money you're putting there, when there's other places to put some of that money, like, it makes no sense to me why you're putting so much money there, innit? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
There's other places that need just as much help. You know what I mean? There's other places of that need that financial help. You know what I mean? Whether it be by a big donation or by putting it through and putting it onto the people that really that's helping out the people them, or whatever way you want to put it. You know what I mean? I just think that they need to help more in other places rather than just the one place. Because the one place you're putting it, you're not even listening to them.
Yeah.
You're not even listening to them people. You know what I mean? They're telling you certain things, even though them things might be confusing to us, but they're telling you certain things they truly believe to be right. You know what I mean? For example, bro, yeah, and people them like, for example, yeah, like they have already said to the government, we need to go on a national lockdown, even if it's for a couple of weeks. We need to lock down. And Boris Johnson's gone, nah, it's all right. I'll do my own thing right now. You know what I mean? But yet you're paying them massive sums of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Scientists are getting $7,000 a day, or something stupid like that I've heard that's been circulated as well. As I said, I need to find out more, but this is from what I'm hearing from what we're hearing at the moment. They're getting paid astronomical amounts per day. Like, I don't see why they need so much to be paid. Like, as I said, take some of that money away and put it in other places. You know what I mean? You might see some differences then, maybe. Or maybe more than what you're seeing now anyway.
Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? So,
True.
But then at the same time, if they've got that amount of money to be paying the scientists, they've got money. Do you know what I mean? If they can afford to do that, they can afford to do a lot of
They're just being
things.
stingy with their dough. They'd rather spend it in their own factions rather than on the places that need it. You see what I'm saying? They'd rather pay it to themselves and people around themselves than actually give it to the people that need it. You know what I mean? And then when we start slating off the government, we're the bad guys.
So maybe
it makes no sense.
How about this then? They've been doing that for all this time, but because of the pandemic, we can see it now. So all this money, all these taxes, all these stuff they've done to us, penalty fares and all that before, in the past, we've lived with it in the society because we've just seen it as something that we occur in our life, I guess. But now the pandemic's here, we can actually see when we actually do need resources and support that these guys really are actual clowns, mate.
Yeah,
to be fair, a lot of people saw it anyway. You know, it's not a thing that wasn't noticed before. It was noticed before. It's just we were so busy with other things in our lives that we didn't care to, you know, take notice or look into it a bit deeper.
To take notice or look more into it. Yeah, or look more into it. Like I truly see it as this. I truly see it a little bit like this. Yeah, like remember the government's like this, but like an eagle or something. Yeah, like or some sort of animal, big strong animal or something. Yeah, like the pandemic stripped them down to their bare bones, innit? And we get to see the bare bones of this place, innit? And we realise that these bare bones are not there for the right reasons, innit? Like,
but the thing is that you know
we've kind of seen how underhand they are.
Yeah, but the thing is that we've been living with it though. This is the thing. We've been living with it, and for all the things that you know are coming out now about you know, this control thing and blah blah blah. Like we've been being controlled from the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been saying that for long. It's so like people are saying, it's only now certain people are trying to see it.
It's not that now people trying to see it. It's now the control is becoming a lot more restricted. So before the control was there, but we had certain freedoms as well in it. So that certain things that were controlled, we didn't really care that they were controlled in it. But now it's come to a point where the control has overtaken everything. So from before, yeah, they controlled me, but I could still go to work, earn my money, come back home, go and see my friends and do what I've got to do in it. But now the control has become such of an impertinence to them that, you know, it's not even control, it's abuse, fam. That's all I'm seeing. It's just straight abuse.
See, I understand that to a degree, but at the same time, I think where the lines cross is that, let's say, for example, if they was to put in some kind of a rule, okay, let's just talk about speed bumps, okay? So let's just say, now it's law and it's mandatory for speed bumps to be on the road. No, that's not a good example. So I'm trying to think of an example of something that they've got in place where we would be like, oh yeah, okay, we're fine with it, but because we're not okay with it, it's a problem.
So, I mean, everything
I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, so everything before, like speed bumps and wearing a seat belt and not smoking in the car when you got kids and all of that, that's all understandable because it's all for health and safety. But if you're saying to me that, you can go to work and see about 10,000 people that day, but then you can't go and see your next door neighbour, that's a restricting rule that has no logic behind it, but I will pay a penalty if I get caught doing it. So that's different restrictions. And they haven't ever done that before. They haven't ever told us this is how you've got to live or here's a penalty for it. They just let us do what we're doing until it gets to that point where we might make too much noise and we've got too much credibility, or we might have too much resources and we're pushing too much of a good stuff, and then at that point they'll get involved. But other than that, before, they'll just let you live your life, innit? Do what you're doing, innit?
Yeah, I hear that.
Obviously, as well, the worst thing is not even for us, it's for the kids, because this is what they're seeing as something that is normal now.
Yeah, I think.
Crazy.
Yeah, I do think. I don't know. Maybe some children might have some parents that will try and talk to them about this, innit? Like maybe I don't know, but I do think that a lot of kids are gonna see this as quite normal.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of kids are gonna register it. I think a lot of kids won't actually register, the impact of what's going on. To be fair, they're at an age where they just do as that. No,
it ain't happening to me as long as it's not happening to me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, kids are at an age now where they do what they're told anyway. So they're not going to see the world in the light as what we do, where we're open to a lot more. They're just going to be like, okay, mummy or daddy or whoever it is said this, so okay, I'm going to do this, and not question it too much.
We do know that kids in probably the first 10, 12 years of their life, they experience so much, and it kind of gives them the character of what they're going to be in it. So in this time, if they were born and they were going out to their friend's house down the road and they were going kicking ball and they were doing this and doing that and they were going to school and everyone was falling over and doing everything and then there was a switch in behavior, regardless, that will be very impactful. If it was an old person,
I think for the older kids, not so much for the younger
definitely
kids.
For the younger kids, because for the younger kids, like for my nieces and nephews, it's normal for them to go out and see their friends. But when they're told now not to, it's like it's like this, You could go and play your computer when you're 4 or 5 years old, whenever you want, innit? And then one day you're going to go and play, and your dad says, "No, you can't play the computer." And you say, "Why? What have I done?" And you go, "Well, you can't just play it." And it does affect the kid 100%. I'm telling you that the impact on kids is going to be immense, because you're telling the kid, this is normal now. What we knew before, what a normal human being does, as in breathe and hug other kids, kiss other kids, whatever else, can't do that anymore. That is impactful. Do you not understand about human
fist
beings?
Bumps and elbows?
Yes, it's human beings. You can't. For a human being to grow, they've got to experience nature. They've got to go out and get hurt. They've got to go and learn this. They've got to go and touch other kids and hugs and kisses, and they've got to like all of that, but they can't do any of that now. None of that. And they have been doing that up until this age. And that's the thing. Like when you take something away from someone that is very normal to them, regardless of their age, it's going to be very impactful. And to be fair, younger, the more impactful, because we can adapt to it very easily. Younger kids, they can't logically understand what's going on, so they're going to always react to it. Why can't we? Until the older ones say, okay, you know what, I'll let you do it now, but this is what's happening, and tear. I'm telling you, the kids, man, they're the ones that are going to be the most impacted on me. Emotionally, definitely. Psychologically.
I mean, I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, I also think with kids, you know, kids will get over something. It's like a child will have a new toy, and then something new will come along, and then they'll forget about the old toy
will get
and start
dashed.
playing with the new
but you're talking about something that's a physical product. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a human being behavior.
No, but it's the same.
And psychology.
It's the same thing.
It's not.
It's
not at all.
It's the same.
It's not at all.
To a degree, I believe it is. To a degree.
Not at all.
I
Because,
understand where
okay,
you're coming from. I understand what you're saying, but
so
at the same
based on
time,
that,
I do think.
Based on that, then you're saying a kid will get a toy and get bored of it, yeah, and get another toy. That's true. But a kid will go out and never get bored with going out, because that's a normal human being thing to do, to go out and experience nature. That is normal.
No,
like, you can't take that away from someone. You can't take that away from someone. That's different.
I feel like
that's
a child,
different.
not every child, so I'm not painting every child with the same brush, but I'm saying some children will just easily adapt, because their brain is not thinking in the same way that ours are, and maybe their attention span's not as big. So yes, maybe every day they'll be going out in the park with their friends, whatever, but then they'll start to adapt to a new normal.
The older people will adapt a lot quicker to a new normal than the younger kids, 100%. Like, I will adapt a lot quicker to what's going on now than my niece would. Is that not a fact?
You say that, but a lot of people are not, are they?
Most people have to adapt because of all the penalty fees, innit? Remember, kids don't get penalty fees, so they don't need to adapt. They just get punishment by their parents. We have to adapt.
Yeah, but on a whole, there's people not coping and not adapting, regardless of penalty fees or not.
Well, what do you mean? They're not adapting. Most of them have to adapt because they haven't got a choice to adapt. Do you understand? So,
yeah, but not all of them. Some of them actually can't comprehend what's going on.
When you're an adult,
like, mentally, they're just not there.
Okay, when you're 16, when you're 16 and an adult, yeah, you're paying phone bills, you're paying mortgage, you go to work.
Get that.
You got all of this stuff. Wait. You got all of this stuff that you've got to do, yeah, which you have to make into a routine and make your life bend around these things, yeah, so that you can live. You got so us as adults have a responsibility that we have been living, yeah.
No,
so now what's happening now?
Yeah. But the
so
thing
people
is that
have
some people
to.
still can't deal with that.
But that's what I'm saying. So people are adapting because people have to still do with that. So people are losing jobs, yeah, and going on to what? The state benefits, yeah. That's adapting. You've lost your job. You've got to get your money somewhere else. You're doing something else. So this is adaptation. A kid would not be able to adapt because a kid would never have that ability in their life at that moment. All the kid is doing is living and trying to understand what is going on in life. So as an adult, we have to adapt all the time.
That's also subjective, though. It's subjective to their home and their upbringing and who they're surrounded by.
Well, when we talk about kids, what are you talking about? 10-year-olds, you're talking about 16-year-olds.
Well, not 16-year-olds, no. I'm talking about the toddlers.
So toddlers, yeah, okay. So, I mean, they're gonna, regardless, yeah, they're gonna be impacted because regardless, the parents are gonna be impacted, so the kids are gonna be impacted. The kids are gonna be impacted because of their behavior, so their schooling, their friends, they're gonna be impacted. The parents are going to be impacted because they're going to lose jobs if they don't do certain things. They've got to live by certain things. They've got to wear masks and that. So they're being impacted, and they're impacting their kids as well. So the kids are getting the most impact without the least experience in everything. The adults haven't experienced all this already, adapting and having to do things.
I agree to a degree. Obviously, there's going to be some kind of impact, but at the same time, it is subjective.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Well, what's happening next?
Yeah. Well, I'm still confused as to what they're trying to do now, to be honest. But I do think that if they truly believe we need to go to a lockdown, I'd rather them do it now. I'd rather them try and get it out of the way now and do what they need to do now. if they are going to go into lockdown, they need to make sure that people need to be helped properly. You can't be making them go back to work earning a full wage for this long, since what, around the 15th of June. I think most shops opened again. You know what I mean? I know that's when I went back to work, it was the 15th of June. You know what I mean? So everyone's gone back to work at a full wage. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're gonna put them back in furlough, but only give them like a third, or give them 22%. That was the percentage that was getting thrown around at the time. You know what I mean? By the Chancellor himself. You know, so like, I don't think that you can do that to the people, because a lot of people, they're gonna find that hard. They're gonna struggle. And then again, people are going to be impacted. You know what I mean? A lot of people are going to be impacted. But it's not just going to be children. It might be people that they look after, like their mum, like the kids' parents, like the kids' grandparents, and that. Maybe they might help them out. They'll be impacted by all of this as well. There's going to be a bag of people impacted. So I think the government are going to need to do a lot more, like, than what they say they're going to be doing if we're going to go into a lockdown, or they're going to try and enforce tier 2 or tier 3 or whatever it is rules on us. You know what I mean? They need to make sure they're prepared to help us more.
So what, the lockdown?
Right now, they're already helping themselves.
The lockdown's going to lock down the businesses as well then, I'm assuming.
I think
if they're doing a national lockdown.
In the worst
tier, in the worst tier areas, it'll
look at closing.
In the worst tier, shops will be closed as well, yeah. And bookies as well and stuff like that.
There must be obviously shops for food and that people can go to. No?
What's that?
I don't know, maybe there might be some sort of thing.
Food bag.
Yeah, but remember there's online, innit? So
yeah.
I think if anything, there's gonna be online stuff. I don't know about the food banks and that. I'm sure they're not gonna allow food banks on the road if they're gonna lock down. There's no point in that. No one's gonna be allowed out.
So if they lock down, when do you think is going to be the most likeliest time?
Probably when everyone's going on holidays, school holidays.
November
But when they will actually do the lockdown. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. November time.
Well, is it next week or the week after that people... I mean, schools probably break up differently, but...
I think I truly believe it'll be in the next maybe 14 to 21 days. Between the next 14 and 21 days, I believe the country will go into a lockdown.
That's too long.
So
what? What are they going to do? Are they going to?
And then they're going to throw it out. So it's going to happen.
Are they going to enforce it as well on the roadside or what?
I don't know.
On what side?
Maybe. I think they're going to...
On the road. Are they going to enforce it on the street?
Right. I believe they will try. Because the last time they tried to do a lockdown, even though they might have eased it a bit, I truly believe the government think that people took the piss when they started easing stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I believe that they took the absolute birdies, you know what I mean? And the government saw that and said, if we're going to do another lockdown or anything like that, we can't let that happen again.
Yeah, but they allowed it to happen. How are they going to give you the help out to eat out thing and then not expect people to take advantage of 50% off?
Exactly.
No, I understand that fully. But as we've already said and mentioned plenty of times, and as most of the people in the country are saying, they're very confusing people.
Yeah.
They like doing things that confuse us anyway. You know what I mean? And they're unpredictable. So we don't know what they're actually going to do. They might, as you said, they're going to do the help out to eat out and all that sort of stuff. They do all this stuff to make sure the economy can be back as it is. But yet you're willing to throw fines on people and all this sort of stuff. Like, as I said, it's confusing. It's madness. But I think that's what will happen. I think they're going to try and throw us into a lockdown in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Roll on 2021.
You know what I mean? And whether that be, I know, like, if it's the hardest hitting areas, whether that be the whole country, regardless of what tier you're in, you know what I mean? But I believe a lockdown of some sort is going to be happening.
So the hardest hitting areas, I'm assuming these are the areas where they're doing a lot of testing. And all the other areas are not really doing a lot of testing.
Well, I don't see no testing going on really.
No, not
Anyway, I don't
my
see people
side.
going from door to door trying to get tests.
No. But I'm just
You know what I
curious.
mean? I
I'd
don't
like
see
to know,
that.
like, where are they getting, where are they getting the numbers from if, like, a lot of tests are not being done? And then, as for the hospitals, because are the hospitals overrun? Are there loads of people being admitted into the hospitals now? Like, I don't get it.
No, from what I
'Cause
know, no. Have you heard that there's been more people being admitted to hospital? I ain't heard
No,
that.
and then the hospitals that they built have not been open.
Been
The
used.
hospitals that they built,
That Nightingale,
they haven't.
like that
Some of them haven't
Nightingale, is
been
it
used.
Nightingale Hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
one
think
of
they've
them.
been
Yeah.
used yet, have they?
No.
Yeah, I don't think they've been used yet, have they?
No.
No.
No. So
So
I mean, I have seen a couple of visuals, but visuals are just visuals, man. They make things up. It's so easy, man. And it was close. It was funny because I was watching it and I was thinking, wow, this hospital looks like there's a lot going on in it because there was a lot of movement. But then I thought, wait a minute, this could have been from
an
5
office
years
building,
ago,
bruv.
man. Like they're really good at manipulation with that kind of stuff, man. But I haven't really heard anything major about influx of any hospitals in the UK.
no, nor have I at all. And if there have
Which
been,
it makes
they've
it
been
harder
keeping
to
it very
believe.
quiet. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. And obviously there's been I've seen a lot of videos of people arguing in it, people with masks and people without masks.
Yeah, there was some protests in,
I
I think in Tottenham Court Road or somewhere around there on Friday, I think it was.
Yeah, was it that
Like
anti-mask, anti-lockdown or something like that? Yeah, like an anti-mask, anti-lockdown protest or something like that.
Yeah.
Anti-mask, anti-lockdown, yeah.
Right, and there's been a few of those going on lately. There's been quite a few of those going on lately, to be honest, them protests. But here's the thing, I think there's a lot of people that I think have just got a lot of pent-up anger in them protests because they're just willing to argue.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that what their reasons are wrong or anything like that. I just think that there's a lot of them with a lot of pent-up anger. And when they're asking and sharing their views, they're just sharing it quite aggressively, and that's what's causing people to some people to not want to listen, which is causing them to get even more angry, because they seem to get very in protests for some reason. They get quite heated, and I'm not saying that the dude is inciting stuff, but just like that is it Gareth Ike? Yeah, like again, maybe some of his delivery was just a little bit angry for me, you know what I mean? And it caused people to get a bit pent up with him, you know what I mean? So when they go on a protest, they're walking around with pent up anger, you know what I mean? Which causes them to get aggressive with people and aggressive with the police, and it just, I don't know, it just causes a bit of madness for me, like that way.
I think protests as a individual element is bad anyway, man. I don't think it makes any sense to do that. Even loads of people come together. I just don't think it solves anything. And if anything, it kind of like blacklists like that protest doing what they're doing it for. If they were doing it alongside other things like getting into Parliament and getting to MPs and getting, statements from certain people and then doing protests, then I would say, okay, that makes more sense. But I think the individual element of a protest is always going to be bad news, mate. You're never really going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, because technically their protest was, I'm not wearing a mask and I'm not going in at the time you tell me, basically. Wasn't it? If you think about it, if you strip it down to bare bones, that's what it is. I'm doing this protest because I don't want to go in when you tell me. I want to go in when I want.
Another thing I actually heard of and got from work is something called, so I'm not going to put this bit in now, this thought, better not put it in, but it's something called hidden disabilities. I don't know if you lot have heard of it in your workplaces.
No.
Yeah, so about people with the masks and stuff.
Yeah, with masks,
Yeah, so people with like PTSD and that.
Yeah, so basically there's this organisation called Hidden Disabilities, and they basically, you can buy like a card, innit? Exemption cards and stuff like that.
You have to buy it.
Yeah,
Buy
of
it?
course.
What?
Oh.
You can just go on the Gov site and print it out, mate.
Well, you probably could, but nah. Actually, it's not the card.
No, you can.
It's not.
You can.
It's not the card. It's not the card. It's not the card. It's the
like
it's
like
a lanyard.
they call it, I think they call it a lanyard or something.
It's a lanyard. It doesn't matter about the card. It's a lanyard.
Yeah, yes, a lanyard.
Yeah. So you have to have that basically.
You can print that off in the Gov site.
On the what site?
A lanyard.
For free. Yeah, I think that's what they're called.
No, a lanyard's
that goes around your neck. But that's a
mad.
loophole. That is a loophole already, because regardless if you've got a disability or not, you can get one of these cards.
I was going to say, what's the criteria? How do you make yourself eligible?
So
yeah.
I obviously got one, yeah. So I went on and I signed up for it. I thought they would ask me some details about my health or anything like that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
None of it.
You've got one.
Nothing.
Yeah, I got one. Obviously, innit?
Yeah. But for that to be a loophole or to be an actual thing, this just tells you the level of
yeah, for real.
fear or
yeah.
the level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, for it to be that easy, something's not right. Something's
Very
not right.
true. Very
Yeah,
true.
real.
Very true.
For real. Something has to be wrong, I lie. Something has to be wrong.
So in my head, what I'm thinking is, that this organization did this, and it hasn't really been clocked. But I think that if a lot of people jump on it and it gets clocked, then it will be a problem. Then something might be done about it. But I think because it's so minute right now.
Do you reckon it's ended? Like they'll look to end that, innit? Someone will look to end that.
They'll either look to end it blatantly,
But
or
is it not legit? Is it not part of the NHS?
I don't know. Well, like I said, what they might do is enforce it so it's done properly in the future, so that if people have actually got issues, that they come in for checks and all the rest of it. Remember back in the day, when we did driving tests, it was like only one bit of the test that you had to do, but now you have to do perception, you have to do hazards, you have to do everything else because they cut down on it. So it might just be something like that where, the people get it now slip under the radar, but as soon as it's clocked, they might just enforce it as a serious thing, innit? Regardless, I don't know whether the people that slip under the radar get clocked, because obviously we put our details in the system, they got our details, so they know that we got the card, innit? So realistically, they might come and say, right, you got the card, now you need to come in for an official check or something. I don't know. But
oh shit.
You never know, mate.
Maybe.
We see what happens.
You never know, man. As I said, you never know.
As long as I can work and travel now and I don't need to worry about any of that, I'm cool in it for now.
Of course. For the time being.
For the time being.
They're going to try and round you up in a COVID van to do tests.
Like cattle, There's another one. Get him.
Just there, like battery hen in a van. Bro.
No,
like you don't want that to happen. Man.
Allow that.
Yeah, man. Levels.
Man, I mean, like you're saying, B.Dot, I'm confused because, like, from the beginning, man, I thought, you know what, I understand they're trying to do this and trying to do that, but I'm sitting there so confused about what's going on. Like, what are they really looking to do? What they really looking to do? Like, because it doesn't seem like they're trying to do anything.
I truly believe they don't know.
Yeah.
I think they don't know themselves.
I think it's freestyle.
They actually don't know.
No, they don't.
You've got one, I believe, you know that saying, too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yeah. That's what's been happening.
I think there's too many voices. I think there's too many people trying to talk. You know what I mean? And not only that, they're doing that publicly as well. You've got Boris that wants to do the statements, that do these live statements whenever he feels like it. Then he's sending people out like Michael Gove that's going to go and open his mouth and do what he's doing, the little puppet. You know what I mean? And then you've got there's so many people talking. I don't think they actually, no one's going, right, let's just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's actually doing that. I think that everyone's just, like it's Parliament. Everyone believes it's Parliament right now where everyone's talking over each other, but there's no speaker telling them all to shut up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I think,
and I think that's what's going on at the moment, and it's confusing everyone because now they don't know who to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, even though Boris is Prime Minister, I don't think I don't think some of his party are actually listening to him.
Nah. I mean...
You know what I mean? Because you've always got that. Whoever the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition is, you've always got people that don't like you in that position.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So you've also got not only people talking for the Prime Minister, you know what I mean, and with the Prime Minister on that level, but then you've got the people that don't like them people, and it's all going around in this massive, like, I don't know, this mad kerfuffle, you know what I mean, if anything. You know what I mean? And no one's listening to each other. No one.
I think
you know what I mean?
The biggest mistake is
scary for me.
The biggest mistake is that they should have just let the scientists lead this situation, mate. If they let the scientists
if you're going to employ them, let them do their job.
Then people wouldn't have problems with Boris right now. They'll be like, well, even if the scientists led us to this exact same point, they would say, well, at least Boris let the people who are experts in their field, he let them take over. Even though we're still in the same place, he at least put the right people in the situation at the beginning. But because I don't know whether it was ego, whether it was power, whether it was this utter dumbness of a human being.
I think it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he just
a little bit of everything.
Kind of put himself in this position. And to be fair, Donald Trump and Boris, mate, like they haven't got much hope in hell, mate, because of how they've handled this whole situation, bruv. Like their futures must look bleak right now.
Yeah. Like, I'm not being bad enough. Donald Trump is starting to look more his natural colour with every day in it. He's not looking so orange anymore. Like, you know what I mean? That's something for definite. You know what I mean?
Help yourselves, everyone. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Press this button here right now. Jeez.
Yo, press this big red button.
Press this button. Here.
Yeah, right here. Button. Red one.